Good evening, good morning. Happy Easter. It's Easter Sunday in the morning in the UK, in London. Welcome to Easter 2023. And I'm talking about Elon Musk, the second richest man on earth. And the reason I'm doing that, if you watch the other videos, to show how rich he is and some of his activities, his beliefs. I'm going to look at his experience, Elon Musk's experience in Twitter and his views in terms of the users of Twitter. He owns Twitter. I think he bought Twitter last year or this year. I can't remember. I think it was last year he bought Twitter. And his views. Let us look at what he thinks about how people use Twitter, or how he himself uses Twitter. So, since joining Twitter in 2009, actually, he joined Twitter in 2009. Musk has been an active user and has over 100 million followers as of June 2022. Leave a comment below. Let me know how many followers you have on Twitter. He has 100, more than 100 million followers as of June 2022. He posts memes, promotes business interests, and comments on contemporary political and cultural issues. Musk's statements have provoked controversy, such as for mocking preferred gender pronouns and comparing Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to Adolf Hitler. This man has a lot of power. The New York Times describes his contributions to international relations as chaotic, and critics of Musk argue that there is a lack of separation between his opinions and his business interests. Uh, so that is some of the outlook. Leave a comment below if what you think about Elon Musk and what his beliefs, what his behavior means to you, or what you think about his behavior on Twitter. He owns Twitter, and he talks of things like existential threat. Existential threat means existence of human species is at risk. That's how I understand it. It may have different meanings to different people. Some people talk of existence, and when they talk of existential threat, it means people are going to go extinct, or they will cease to exist, or there is a major risk, danger to life of humanity. It's about humanity, but it might also mean a class of people, a risk to a class of people. It may not necessarily mean everyone. It may be that a certain class of people, maybe the elites of the world, are to be protected from the rest of the world. I mean, like the few chosen ones, the elites are under threat from maybe the majority of the population who are not wealthy. Um, that is what it might mean. Musk giving details about Falcon 9 and Dragon spacecraft at the 2006 Mars Society conference. Talk about Mars. Leave a comment below if you know what Mars is. It's one of the planets, and a lot of people, scientists like Mars, are very interested in Mars. There are talks of actually preparing Mars for human habitation. So, Musk has been described as believing in long long termism. So, long termism emphasizes the needs of future populations. So, he looks ahead. He doesn't look at now, and it is not surprising because he's very rich. If you're poor, you are thinking what you're going to do for your next survival. You're short termist. If you're actually a poor person, you're a short termist person. He doesn't he doesn't have to really care about the present. He can now afford to look into the future and ignore the present as much as he likes because he doesn't suffer from. He can access food, he can access energy, he can access shelter, to say the least. The rest of the world who are poor, who cannot access these things, cannot afford the luxury of not thinking about the present and always thinking about the future. He is different. He is a multi-billionaire. He doesn't need to think about the present. That's what the difference between rich people and poor people. We think of the cost of living. Elon Musk think of the future. What are we going to do in the future? Are we going to live our lives in the future? We are looking after the present immediate need. He's looking at the future. That's the difference between a multi-billionaire and a poor person. So, he has one of the Terminator like AI apocalypse and suggested that the government should regulate its safe development. Now, a predator, a Terminator, like AI, artificial intelligence apocalypse. These are actually fictions. So, if there is anything to be apocalyptic about artificial intelligence, then it is a contradiction in terms potentially because it is the likes of Elon Musk which are actually preoccupied with artificial intelligence and creating creatures and using technology to potentially create creatures which might be very dangerous. When he talks of the government to set up laws, regulations, to develop safety, to prevent. I mean, he is actually creating a problem. I mean, people like Elon Musk potentially he is most likely to be creating problems so that he spends time solving the problem he creates. So if he's going to explore his dreams, which sometimes borders on insanity, because you cannot prepare a world in mass when you haven't solved the problem of the earth. A lot of people, the majority of the population who are not rich, are actually planning how to survive on earth. You are now planning how to survive in outer space. That is the difference between a billionaire who is involved in science, research, machine, and his mindset has nothing to do with humanity. His mindset has to do with wealth. So someone like Elon Musk can actually risk the termination of humanity by depriving the world of the world resources on human beings. Instead of spending money on people, they spend it on machines. So effectively, Elon Musk is risking humanity, and people like him are actually trying to kill people by negligence, knowingly or unknowingly, because of negligence. You know, hoarding resources, taking wealth away from people and actually keeping it for themselves to pursue what I sometimes perceive as being a form of madness. Because if people are suffering and you don't really care about them, you don't want to help anyone who is suffering, and you want to build toys to play with, like a child, that is a form of insanity. And he is asking the government to fund it by pretending that somehow um some Terminator like artificial intelligence apocalypse might occur, creating fear and actually uh, um some kind of actually coercing the government into spending money on this project by suggesting that there is some risk associated with artificial intelligence. Yet he is the one investing in artificial intelligence. So what he is saying, the government should spend money on this project. And his argument is that the government should guard against what is doing, turning into some risky Terminator like artificial intelligence apocalypse. So he participates in something which is potentially, he says, could be actually a horror story. At the same time, he actually says, in as much as he is active in a project which can be very dangerous, the government should be responsible for it, not him. Instead of him solving problems like the cost of living, which involve so many people actually suffering in the developed world and in the developing world, he is actually not, he is preventing that wealth from helping people on earth. He's trying to go into space to create some creatures using artificial intelligence. He wants to create a machine mixed with maybe some viruses or whatever. Because, you know, that's what Elon Musk and people like him are trying to do. They are basically trying to destroy the earth, destroy humanity. And the government is allowing them to do that. And I think that is wrong. And leave a comment below what you think. In 2015, Musk was a consignatory along with Stephen Hawking and hundreds of others of the open letter on artificial intelligence, which called for the ban of autonomous weapons. Now, why would you are the one who is involved in artificial intelligence, and you actually write letters for the government to ban or autonomous weapons. I think that is a type of crocodile tears, because you are the one responsible for that kind of project, and you at the same time, pretend to be campaigning against it. I don't see that to be really coming from somebody who is organized, you know, um, mentally or even emotionally. We're talking probably of psychopaths who are actually really so totally demented. Musk AI stances are being called alarmist and sensationalist by critics such as computer scientist Yan LeCun and Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, and led the think tank Information Technology and Innovation Foundation to award Musk its annual Luddite Award in 2018. Musk has described climate change as the greatest threat to humanity after AI and has advocated for a carbon tax. And he advocates for taxation because even if he pays, he doesn't feel the tax. So when he advocate for tax, every time the government put up tax policy, it is actually attacking. It's an attack on the poor, on the many who are not millionaires, who are not billionaires. So he, in the interest of protecting the environment, he is actually asking the government to persecute humans. Because taxation is a form of persecuting for poor, or it's a persecution. Every time the government put up taxation, the government is actually trying to persecute poor people. And the government always listen to multi-billionaires and millionaires like Elon Musk. They actually conspire to persecute humanity in the interest of uh, uh, money and wealth. Because the environment, when they talk about, is as if humans are not part of the environment. They are. And they are priority to normal people. People are actually normal, who are humans. And sometimes I even doubt if these people are still human. Probably they have actually injected themselves with some dangerous dangerous chemicals to alter their humanity. Because the way they behave sometimes, like they are creatures from outer space. But maybe we are dealing with some alien, like maybe the like of Elon Musk have turned themselves into some artificially intelligent creatures. Probably they are no longer human because the way they talk and their government, the government they partner with, it looks to me that people being elected are becoming less and less human and more wild animals. A cocktail of some human artificially intelligent creatures who are actually, regrouping into some horrible, terminating, uh, you know, monsters. And leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about the kind of thing these people talk about. Musk has described climate change as the greatest threat to humanity after AI. So AI is very dangerous, and climate change is also very dangerous, according to Elon Musk. And he is advocating to the government to put up a carbon tax. Musk was a critic of President Donald Trump. Donald Trump's stance on climate change, and resigned from two presidential business advisory councils following Trump's 2017 decision to withdraw the United States from the Paris Agreement. Elon Musk think environment issue is the most important thing in the world. I say to Elon Musk that and his fellow multi-billionaire and multi-millionaires that yes, the environment issue is important, but people are more important than nature. And people are actually part of nature. People are part of the environment. When you talk of the environment, you are talking about people. You're not talking about trees and animals more than talking about humans in the first place. So this is something the likes of Elon Musk should really go to school and learn that humans are actually part of the environment and they are part of nature. So when you talk of environment without actually any knowledge of human welfare, then keep quiet. There's no point for you to start giving an opinion about the environment. The environment starts with humanity. Now you don't pay your employees well and you start talking about the environment. The environment starts from your industry. And this is the same with Elon Musk. With Jeff Bezos. We look at Jeff Bezos in the other videos. They don't pay their employees well. You start addressing the social issue first, which actually the environmental issue in relation to human beings. And then start talking about trees and animals and also the wealth, the gold, the diamonds. I know you people like wealth a lot, but learn to like people more than wealth. It is culturally more uh, sensible. So Musk has long promoted the colonization of Mars and argues that humanity should become a multiplanetary species. That is the luxury Elon Musk can afford because he's a multi-billionaire. No poor person wants to go to Mars. Or to no, I mean, if you cannot actually solve the problem of low pay, don't talk about solving problem associated with Mars and multi-planetary species. That is not a priority. Priority is to solve the problem of the cost of living and the problem of poverty on Earth first, and then because you are not suffering from it, and part of the reason the rest of the world is suffering poverty because you took away the wealth. Um, it may not be your fault, but that is a fact. The system allowed you, someone like you, to take away the vast majority of wealth. Only a few owning almost all the wealth of the world. And that is not acceptable. I mean, if you sit there and start talking about Mars and multiplanetary species, occupying different, I don't know, that is the kind of luxury only insane people should speak like that. And I like to think that sometimes wealth actually makes people so stupid. So he has suggested the use of nuclear weapons to terraform Mars. He envisioned establishing a direct democracy on Mars with a system in which more votes would be required to create laws than remove them. Musk has also voiced concerns about human population decline, saying that Mars has a zero human population. That is ridiculous because those who actually put people and things, they put things before people, do not actually like people at all. They are there to destroy humanity by reducing the population of the people because the number of people actually is a threat to their security. The war is between the rich and the poor. There is no alien, there is no artificial intelligence apart from the kind of conspiracy being promoted by the likes of Elon Musk. Elon Musk is actually the one, he cannot accuse anybody of creating virus infested terminators, artificial intelligence in terminators. I mean, this is the kind of madness coming from the fictional Hollywood movies, which we don't want to see on Earth, and the population. People like Elon Musk are actually working to control the population of the world. Actually, either by design or by insanity, the likes of Musk actually because of their behavior, because they create crisis like the cost of living. The cost of living can wipe the population of human beings. Someone like Musk is preoccupied with space and the environment. He doesn't care about people. If he did, he would pay his employees well. He would actually be now talking about the cost of living to solve it, to help people who are actually being sent to sleep rough on the street. Even in the UK, people are being advised by the government to leave their homes and go and sleep rough in public libraries and go and sleep in churches like like dogs. Even dogs are treated better than poor people in Britain and even in America. And this is going to get worse. And if Elon Musk is serious about solving human problem, he should start on Earth here. We want to see evidence of his interest in people instead of actually crying wolf. That when he say about human, decline in human population, he's probably talk about the super rich, the population of the super rich. Poor people are actually increasing, so he should stop talking nonsense. If the number of rich people are actually declining because he is taking money of rich people and rich people are becoming poor, so the population of poor people are actually increasing. It's not declining, and the behavior of people like Elon Musk is going to start killing poor people. Poor people could go extinct because of the recklessness of modern governments and the super rich like Elon Musk, who pay more attention building complicated machines, which can actually be very dangerous, can create diseases, can create a lot of infection in space, and the poor will be killed first because they will have no defense. They will not have the money to produce anti or even defenses against accidents happening behind closed doors involving activities, adventures of people like Elon Musk. So he says we need a lot of people to become a multi-planet civilization. Like I said, that is not a priority. Speaking at the Wall Street Journal's CEO Council session in 2021, Musk stated that a declining birth rate and consequent population decline is one of the biggest risks to human civilization. Like I said before, uh, the population he talks about, the multi-billionaires and multi-millionaires population declining. The poor are actually increasing in population, like as far as I know. And if people are actually, the population is going to decline, it's going to decline because they will be dying of diseases and plagues created by risky behaviors, the like of which we have seen involving the behavior of people like Elon Musk, who's promoting some form of insane form of adventure involving artificial intelligence and some reckless, you know, adventures involving his money. The money he should use to actually feed the poor of the world is using it to waste and also play with it, creating toys for his to feed his ego, to feed his infantile fantasy. Creating toys, behaving like a 10-year-old with a lot of guns and bombs in his hand in the form of wealth. These are very dangerous people. In as much as they do good, the risk they put the earth in, and the government also, who are actually their allies, allowing them to do dangerous things like that. And you meet with people like senators. In this photograph, he's meeting with Senator Dianne Feinstein at the opening of the Tesla Fremont factory. I have nothing against Tesla. I mean, as long as the government can support it for people to afford, that's okay. But if it's the way it is being produced, and even poor people will not access Tesla, they can't afford it. And Tesla is the vehicles are so expensive. And if Elon Musk is clever, he should start wasting money into some space adventurous project before beginning to actually subsidize, the price of his product for poor people. I mean, he should set up a welfare project and to sell his car or even to give it away for free. People who cannot afford it, people who need to. The first people to get Tesla actually are people who work at the Tesla factory, people who are not being paid properly, people who are actually very poor, working for a multi-billionaire. Shame on him. You know, pouring billions and billions of pounds on worthless project compared to the life of human. That's because he doesn't value human life. He valued money and wealth. And when he built rockets and artificially intelligent products with boring machine, I don't say that is bad. But these are things being built for the super rich, for themselves, and not for I mean, the poor people can barely afford to even pay for a bus fare. And you see, these kind of people are trying to build spacecraft for luxury travel into space. What kind of life is that? So he meets with people like Mike Pence, vice president. They meet in places like Kennedy Space Center. This was in 2022. They met there at Kennedy Space Center. This was before SpaceX Crew Dragon demo to launch. This is the kind of thing he's trying to do, supported by the government. While often described as libertarian, Musk has called himself politically moderate and was registered independent voter when he lived in California. Now, the New York Times wrote that Musk expresses views that don't fit neatly into the American binary left-right political framework. Historically, Musk has donated to both Democrats and Republicans. He behaves like a businessman. Here today, gone tomorrow. He is politically neutral because naturally he wants to benefit from what are you thinking? Because the government actually supports him. Any government, and because whether right or wrong or right or left, they are both capitalists. So for people like Musk, politically, I mean, he has to behave like a prostitute. Anybody who gives him money is a husband or wife, whatever. So that is not surprising at all. Beginning in the late 2010s, Musk's political contribution have shifted to almost entirely supporting Republicans. Republicans are actually the mother and father of capitalism. So it's not surprising that he's leaning toward Republican. He was actually Republican as soon as he became a multi-billionaire. It would be a freak of nature, somebody so rich like that, to support Democrat more than Republican. Musk voted for Hillary Clinton in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. In the 2020 Democratic Party presidential primary, Musk endorsed candidate Andrew Yang and expressed support for his proposed universal basic income. Universal basic income is meaningless as long as the income is low. It can be as universal as they like, but nobody should be fooled by any government. The moment money is low, it is worthless. It is a smoke screen, whether it's coming from Elon Musk, whether it's coming from the government, whether it's Republican, whether it is employment. I mean, he should sort out the nonsense about low pay with his employee. See, he should start paying, $50 an hour to his employee, the lowest paid in his multi-billion, multi-trillion project. Before, starting talking nonsense about universal whatever basic income. He also endorsed Kanye West's 2020 presidential campaign. Kanye West is a multi-billionaire. He's a musician. He's a black man. So they don't see color. They see only dollars. He said he voted for Joe Biden in the 2020 U.S. presidential election. In 2022, Musk said that he could no longer support the Democrats because they are the party of division and hate, and wrote a tweet encouraging independent-minded voters to vote Republicans in the 2022 U.S. elections, which was an uh, outlier among social media executives who typically avoid partisan political advocacy. He also leaned towards supporting Republican Ron DeSantis in the 2024 U.S. presidential election if DeSantis were a candidate. Musk opposes billionaires' tax and has argued on Twitter with more left-leaning Democratic politicians such as Bernie Sanders, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Elizabeth Warren. He stated that hands-ups don't shoot, a rallying cry that arose after the 2014 shooting of an unarmed black teenager, Michael Brown, in Ferguson, Missouri, which was actually it's based on in a fiction, and has raised question about Black Lives Matter protests. Musk also promoted a baseless theory relating to the attack of Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband, but Musk deleted his tweet. So I said he doesn't have respect for people. He respects wealth. And he is so, it's a person I have almost no respect for people like Elon Musk. If you find me respecting him because of his money, because if you want people to respect you, you have to respect other people. Doesn't matter how rich you are. Musk has praised China and has been described as having mounted a charm offensive to the Chinese government and gain access to its markets for Tesla. Exactly. I said sometimes rich people behave like prostitutes. Where money is, that is where their noses go. Doesn't matter how dirty or filthy. I'm not saying the Chinese are dirty or filthy. But dirty or clean, you have to choose value other than money first and then money later. In 2022, Musk wrote an article for China Cyberspace, the official publication of Cyberspace Administration of China, which enforces internet censorship in China. His writing, the article was described as conflicting with his advocacy for free speech. Exactly. Because he's trying to actually make a fool of himself. Because you can't support censorship because you want to be friends with China for reason of money and wealth. You don't have any principle, you don't have any integrity. Musk later advocated for Taiwan to become a special administration region of China, which drew cross-party criticism from Taiwanese lawmakers because China has more money than Taiwan, so he's actually selling his whatever to the Chinese at the extent of people who should get justice or fairness. In October 2022, Musk posted a Twitter poll and peace plan to resolve the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It was reported that Musk allegedly spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin prior to the proposal which Musk denied. Thank you for watching this video. I'll talk about Mars, talk about its projects, looking at multi-billionaires, and leave a comment below. Uh, Subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.